This is Halloween, 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 Halloween. In this town we call home, everybody hail to the pumpkin song. Hopefully I won't die a bunch here, because hopefully I'm at the right level. I don't know if 24 is the right level to be here.
This is all new to me. I've never seen Halloween Town in this game.
Really?
No, I never got this far. Oh, that's sweet. I love that. This is my favorite part.
It's ripe for cosplay. This sure is a spooky place. I'll bet the people here are scary looking too. Don't worry, we look spooky too. If they scare us, we'll scare them right back. You think so? I like that's my favorite Donald voice I've done so far. Don't worry, if they scare us, we'll scare them right back.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
You're gonna like the way you look in Halloween Town.
You're gonna like.
I guarantee it.
This is the cosplay world.
This is the cosplay world.
You know how they talk about telling scary ghost stories in Christmas?
We've got a scary ghost story.
We've got a spooky ghost story of our own. We do.
And now, allow me to
After this cutscene.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird to pace out the story with all the cutscenes.
I'll find a way. I always find a way.
It's Jack Skellington.
It's my boy.
Jack Spooky Boy.
Did Danny Elfman do the voice?
Bravo, Jack! Bravo!
Is he who did it in the original?
Yep.
Oh, I doubt it, but we'll see.
I mean, I can tell if it is.
Thank you. But their movement still needs work. It's not
No.
scary enough.
I don't think so.
I want to strike bone-chilling terror. I'm going to consult the doctor.
I don't like that voice at all.
Danny Elfman would be way too expensive for Kingdom Hearts.
Not necessarily. They got the Mandy Moore. She was a hot commodity.
Who's Mandy Moore?
She was Yuffie, I think. Or no, she's the brunette woman, not the one with
Aerith?
the. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Got a creepypasta here for you
Ooh, here's the lab entryway.
called "Abandoned by Disney." Some of you may heard that the Disney Corporation is responsible for at least one real live ghost town.
Understand. Maybe the guidance system was damaged in the explosion.
Nonsense. My device
Disney
is
built the
always
Treasure
right.
Island Resort in Baker's Bay in the Bahamas.
Oh,
It didn't start as a ghost town.
Why, of
Disney's cruise
course.
ships would actually stop at the resort and leave tourists there to relax in luxury.
Do you think
This is
we
a
could
fact.
add a
Look it
heart
up.
to that device?
I love how they emphasize that.
Google it.
Bing it on the Google. Disney
Ask
blew,
Jeeves about
Disney
it.
blew $30 million on the place.
It says 30 billion?
Million,
Okay.
not 30 billion.
I was gonna say that's a real high number even for a creepypasta.
That's like 30 Star Wars acquisitions.
What did they buy for 5 billion?
Yeah,
It's like so it's like
Six.
six Star Wars.
6 Star Wars acquisitions.
You're gonna really
No.
unlock it for them?
30 million.
Why not? If they
Then they-
succeed, we won't have to fight the Heartless, right?
They have
Besides, I
fangs.
want to see the Heartless, don't you?
Is he supposed to be a wolf
Not
boy?
really.
A vampire or a wolf boy?
Y'all can't see it because we don't have face cam. But every time I'm doing the Donald voice, I'm
He's doing
also
the
doing
hands.
the Italian hands.
He's doing the Italian gangster hands. Like,
So basically, what's happening? Jack Skellington wants to use the Heartless for a spooky show
I'd like you to be a part of this year's Halloween.
for the Halloween show.
What's this Heartless doing here?
Oh,
I feel like I love this part of the game right now,
what's
but I also feel like it's very different from everything else so far.
so?
How so?
Doctor and I
It just
are
feels
finding
aesthetically
the
like
system.
I don't know.
Different?
Yeah, like aesthetically like
Okay,
out
let's
of
continue.
left field.
It's not like the
Pulse.
Disney bright colors.
Yeah,
happy,
maybe because it's
happy.
not traditional Disney. Just like I never think about Nightmare Before Christmas being Disney, even though it is.
Yeah,
So
I also always forget that.
yeah, because I don't know. That's when Tim Burton started his slow decline. Even though this is great, wasn't directed by him. It's when he started his slow decline, starting to team up with Disney.
Corpse Bride was even better than this movie.
But that wasn't Disney, though, was it? I think that was Warner Brothers or Sony.
Oh,
or
maybe.
something. I don't think it was Disney.
I just know that it came after this.
I think so. But anyway, they spent $30 million on this. Then they abandoned it. Disney blamed the shallow waters, too shallow for the ships to safely operate.
Ingredients.
Well, there was even blame cast on the workers,
Memory.
saying that since they were from the Bahamas, they were too lazy to work a regular schedule.
Oh my god!
Good old Disney racism.
Oh my god!
The greeting.
That's where the factual nature of the story ends. it wasn't because of sand. It was obviously because foreigners are lazy.
I hate sand.
Both are
It's
convenient
coarse.
excuses.
It's rough. It gets everywhere.
Sand.
Sand.
No, I sincerely doubt these reasons were legitimate. Why don't I buy the official story? Because of Mowgli's palace. Near the beachside city of Emerald
Oh my
Isle,
god, there's so many cutscenes.
there is.
We have a
Near the beachside city of Emerald Isle in North Carolina, Disney began constructing Mowgli's place in the late 1990s. The concept was a jungle-themed resort with a large, you guessed it, palace in the center of the whole thing. If you're unfamiliar with the character of Mowgli, then you might be better remember the story of the Jungle Book. Mowgli is an abandoned child in the jungle, essentially raised by animals and simultaneously threatened/pursued by other animals. Mowgli's palace was a controversial undertaking from the start. Disney bought up a ton of high-priced land for the project, and there was actually a scandal surrounding some of the purchases. The local government claimed eminent domain on people's homes, then turned around and sold the properties to Disney. At one point, a home that had just been constructed was immediately condemned with little to no explanation. Like good old Disney. The land grabbed by the government was supposedly for some fictional highway project. Knowing full well what was going on, people started calling it Mickey Mouse Highway. Then there was the concept art. A group of stuffed shirts from Disney Corporation actually held a city meeting. They intended to sell everyone on how lucrative this project was going to be for everyone. When they showed the concept art, this gigantic Indian palace, surrounded by jungle, stuffed with men and women in loincloths and tribal gear.
Wait, hang on. So the fiction that we're going with is that Disney wanted to have Mowgli's palace, which is a Jungle Book themed area, but hidden in the middle is a giant casino resort.
I'm guessing, yes.
Okay.
Tribal gear, well, suffice to say, everyone flipped their shit.
Oh, good old creepypasta.
We're talking about a large Indian palace, jungle, and loincloths, not only in the center of a relatively wealthy area, but also a somewhat xenophobic area of southern USA. It was a questionable mix at that point in history. One member of the crowd tried to storm the stage, but he was quickly subdued by security after he managed to break one of the presentation boards over his knee. Disney took this community and essentially broke it over its knee as well. The houses were razed, land was cleared, and there wasn't a thing anyone could do or say about it. Local TV and newspapers were against the resort at the beginning, but some insane connection between Disney's media holdings and the local venues came into play, and their opinions turned on a dime. So anyway, Treasure Island, the Bahamas.
Oh my god, did it really say so anyway?
Yeah.
I love creepypasta
I love the
writing.
way they
It's so casual. It's just like
So anyway,
you're just hanging out.
It's like you're talking over a thing of coffee. Like, so anyway, Treasure Island, the Bahamas. Disney sunk those millions in, and they split. It's like you have gossip, like
Yeah,
like telling your story.
You're just
So anyway, Treasure Island, the Bahamas. Disney sunk those millions in and then split. The same thing happened with Mowgli's palace. Construction was complete. Visitors actually stayed at their resorts. The surrounding communities were flooded with traffic and the usual annoyances associated with an influx of lost and irate tourists. Then it all just stopped. Disney shut it down and nobody knew what the hell to think. I love the way this is written.
God dang it, I hate this game.
I honestly didn't give the place another thought since hearing it closed over a decade ago. I lived maybe 4 hours from Emerald Isle, so I really only heard the rumblings and didn't experience any of it firsthand. Then I read this article from someone who had explored the Treasure Island resort and posted a whole blog about all the crazy things he found there. Stuff just left behind. Things smashed, defaced, probably ruined by the disgruntled former employees who had just lost their jobs. The locals from all around probably had a hand in wrecking the place. People there felt just as angry about Treasure Island as folks here did about Mowgli's palace. Plus, there were rumors that Disney had released their aquarium stock into the local waters when they closed, including sharks.
Oh, wait, hang on. What happened to the waters?
It says, plus there were rumors that Disney had released their aquarium stock into the local waters when they closed, including sharks.
Of course.
As you do.
Of course, that's
It's
incredible.
kind of like baby alligators in Florida. They release them, you know. They flush
That would
them. They flush
actually
them.
be somewhat believable.
You know the whole like myth, like you flush the baby alligator down the toilet, it lives in the sewers, kind of thing.
Yeah. But instead it's sharks.
Instead of sharks. Well, what I'm getting at.
Oh my god! We're not having a conversation, you're telling a story.
I know. About this blog about Treasure Island
Oh
got
my
me
God.
thinking. Even though many years had passed since its closing, I figured it might be cool to do some urban exploration at Mowgli's Palace.
Have you seen Sally anywhere?
Take some photos, write about my experience, and probably see if there was anything I could take home as a memento. Of course you would, you hipster.
Is something wrong?
I'm not going to say I wasted no time in getting there, because honestly it took me another year after I first found Treasure Island article to get around to going up to Emerald Isle.
All we need
Mind you, this is all North Carolina. This is where they were going to build this. This is where this person lives.
Wait, they said in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay!
We started in the Bahamas at Mowgli's Palace. They did the same thing with Treasure Island
Why don't you try
in...
something else?
Actually, no, wait a minute.
Sure, why not?
I'm getting confused in this
nothing
time.
could beat what
Yeah,
I
it's
found.
written very poorly.
Well, I'm pretty sure this is Carolina, because he said Emerald Isle.
Just as I envisioned it.
And he's talking about like even 4 hours away. I'm pretty sure he doesn't live in the Bahamas.
You're going to love it.
Okay, so he's talking about Mowgli's Island. So he uses Treasure Island as a point of reference for the same thing they did in the Bahamas, they did in North Carolina. So this is in North Carolina. Because this is not written from somebody who lives in the Bahamas.
Gotcha.
Because if you live in the Bahamas, do you have time to write creepypasta? I mean, you're enjoying your life,
I mean,
probably.
Disney certainly thinks
You're
so.
either getting hit by hurricanes, or you're enjoying your life. One or the other, because you live in a very bad area for that. Over the course of that year, I did a lot of research on the Palace Resort. Or rather, I tried to.
You hear that?
Naturally, no official Disney site or resource made any mention of the place.
Gosh, you really are stupid. Isn't it obvious?
Tell Oogie Boogie.
None of the local TV or newspaper sites had one word about the place, though that was to be expected, since they had all swung Disney's way. They wouldn't be out there lauding their embarrassments, you know. You know.
Oh my god.
You know.
The corporations are in bed with Disney.
I mean, yes, they are, but you know. Recently, I learned that the corporations can actually...
Hang on, we gotta give Oogie Boogie
Mr.
his
Oogie
moment.
Boogie?
That bonehead Jack is really making a hard. I'll be Jack.
Oh, you'll be what?
You'll be triggered? Triggered.
Hands on that
I don't have a heart triggered.
hands, but I'm still gonna nab that heart and control the heartless.
Gosh, the animations are so stiff. Alright, carry on with Bahamas, North Carolina, whatever.
Bahama Mama.
Bahama Mama.
Even recently, I learned that the corporations can actually ask Google, for example, to remove links from search results, basically for no good reason. Looking back, it's probably not that nobody spoke of the resort, but rather their words were made inaccessible. Wow,
They were silenced. They were censored.
they were put over the knee.
You
of
cannot
big government.
put over the knee of Big Disney.
Walt himself had a paddle spanked them right over the knee.
He said, "Fetch me a switch."
So in the end, I could barely find the place. All I had to go on was an old as hell map I received in the mail back in the 90s. It was a promotional item sent out to people who had recently been to Disney World, and I guess since I had been there in the late 80s, that was recent. I didn't really intend to hang on to it. It just got shoved in my books and comics from my childhood. I only remembered it months into my research, and even then, it took me another few weeks to locate the storage bin my parents had shoved it all into.
Hang on, what's going on again?
goes deeper.
I stopped paying attention.
So he's got this map,
Uh-huh.
and he wants to explore this place,
Yep.
and he can't find anything about the place. So,
Because they've all been censored by Big Disney.
but I did find it. Locals were no help, as most were transplants who had moved to the beach in recent years, or old residents who just sneered at me and made rude gestures the second I managed to say, "Where would I find Mowgli's?"
Where would I find Mowgli's palace?
The drive took me through an
Oh.
inordinately long corridor of overgrowth. Really?
I think he knows how words work.
Tropical plants that had run rampant and overpopulated the area mixed with the native species of flora that had actually belonged there and had tried to reclaim the land. He's trying to get fancy in this thing.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, we're just having a conversation. Here, let me pull out my big English vocabulary.
Inordinately
Inordinately.
The drive took me through an inordinately long corridor of
It was
overgrowth.
such a long corridor.
Tropical plants that had run rampant and overpopulated the area, mixed with the native species of flora that actually belonged there and had tried to reclaim the land.
So he wrote the first half of the story at one time, and then he came back a couple weeks later and decided they wanted to change the
I'm gonna
writing
tweak this.
style.
I'm gonna tweak this. I'm gonna add a little zest.
Let me add some flora and fauna around here.
Flora, fauna. I was in awe when I reached the front gates of the resort.
I was in. I do say I was in awe.
Oh my god. Tremendous monolithic wooden gates whose supports to either side looked like they must have been cut from giant cicadas.
What am I?
Sequoias.
How do I find the mayor? Where's the
The
mayor?
gate itself had been gouged in several places by woodpeckers and eaten away at the base by burrowing insects.
Insects.
Hanging onto the gate was a sheet of metal, some random scrap, with hand-painted letters scrawled in black. Abandoned by Disney.